Alright guys, we're back with some more Monster Energy Supercross 4 early gameplay. This time it is the 250s at Oakland, and in my opinion, this is kind of by far the toughest track in the game so far. It's a tough, kind of a tiny bit annoying to play actually. And this section we're hitting with Tomac. I want to show you Tomac on the 450 here first because there's a bunch of really big lines out there that I never could or didn't get while using the 250. This section is also very, very, very annoying to hit. Even on the 450, it's super awkward to hit. And when you're racing the AI, and I'm sure it'll be that way in multiplayer, when you're bumping into people, that section is tough all by itself, but bumping into the AI or other players is going to be a nightmare. But we do hit, you just saw us hit a big quad. Here we hit a triple. These sections aren't that bad. You can be kind of lazy on the 450, but you still have to get a pretty decent run out of the corner to be able to hit those sections. So even on the 450, it can be really tough, and the track is hard and kind of annoying, but on the 250 it's amplified a ton. The 250s, I never usually use the 250s. The only game I felt like I used the 250 some because it had its own advantages was Supercross Encore. I felt like the handling on that bike, it was easier to really carry momentum around the corners and not spin out or whatever like you did on the 450. You just had to use those bikes differently. And in this game, I mean, you have to use it differently. You can hit. I'm not saying you can't do all these big sections like we were doing with Tomac on the 250. You can. We did it. I did it because I had such a hard time on this track. This is like the 20th time I was trying to do this race. It was super tough. I kept messing up. I was trying to hit some of the big sections and it just wasn't working. We hit some, not during this race really. I had hit all the sections we hit with Tomac with Jet Lawrence here. So all these sections can be done on the 250. I'm not saying they can't be. So if you're in the comments saying you gotta be better, you're for sure right. Definitely. But it is very, 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 very tough. And remember what I was saying about the AI. They can take the very, very bottom line and be just as fast as you. So if you take the outside and mess up like this triple here, they're gonna fly right by you. And it was a tough race. It was a non-stop battle to the very end. And actually things kind of get way, 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 way worse at the end of the race because I start messing up. The AI kind of catches up to me, the AI behind us, and the race just kind of fell apart at the end. I tried to salvage, but it was, this track is tough, man. I actually was thinking about switching tracks, but I thought it'd be fun to do the toughest track, the hardest track on a 250 here because, like I was saying earlier, I don't really use the 250s aside from doing a career, which I'll probably do. I decided against doing the videos for a career. What I do is I just stream it. So we will have to do a 250 East or West, maybe both, and then a 450 career. And that's pretty much the only time I use the 250. I know some of you guys like using it probably, but for the most part, everybody I play with and see and whatnot, everybody's using the 450 simply because it's easier to hit the big lines, and some lines I'm not even sure you could do on the 250. Not necessarily on this track, but there's tracks that have lines that maybe you couldn't even get on the 250. So most everybody uses the 450, and that's pretty much how I like to play too. But since it's an alpha and we have really, really super wicked early access to the game, I thought it'd be fun to check it out. I saw some people saying that they didn't think that the bike sounds were very good. I actually feel like they're okay. I mean, yeah, they might not be perfect to real life, but I actually feel like they improved them over last year. I mean, I didn't use the 250 very much, but I feel like this CRF 250 sounds pretty decent, pretty okay. Not perfect. There's stuff to criticize, but I definitely feel like it was an improvement. We're also using Jet Lawrence because I saw somebody asking if Lawrence was in the game. Yes, he most certainly is. I said I'd check, and I decided just to use choose him to race Oakland here, and we're having this insane battle back and forth, bumping like crazy battle with Faulkner, which I guess kind of makes sense. They kind of had their differences last year during, I don't remember what Supercross race it was. I don't believe it was Oakland. I don't remember what race it was, but I guess it turned out pretty okay. I was actually going to do this race in the mud too, the rain, but then I chose that setting and I tried the race and it was a nightmare. I mean, we're already having a really tough time on this track, and then add in the rain and the mud, and hitting some of these sections is like next to impossible. The rain and the mud is very similar to how it has been in all the Supercross games. I don't feel like there was too much change there. Maybe a tiny bit, but most everybody doesn't really care for that. I know some people do. I'm not speaking for everybody. First of all, I'm speaking on my own behalf, but I know in online, virtually everybody chooses dry because it's just more fun. It's more fun to hit the big lines, and then we mess up here, and this is where it all goes bad. Everything just starts to fall apart here, but yeah, we were going to do it in the mud. It was way too hard to hit even the basic lines on the 250 in the mud on this track. On the 450, it would have been easier, and I'm not saying you can't do it, okay? I know people are going to be like, oh, he's not good enough. Yeah, well, yeah, you're right. You're definitely right, but it was also really annoying, and I already said that this track is kind of annoying. The AI was hounding me like crazy, and the mud would just add to it. It would have been like literally the ultimate challenge in Supercross 4 right now. So I'm really curious to see if they're going to have harder tracks, more annoying tracks to play. I'm not saying it's a bad track. The design is kind of fun, and it was a fun track, but it had some annoying sections. This was really annoying because the AI goes for the same line, so if you're ahead of them, they're always inside of you, and they just kind of push you off the track. Taking the alternate line there is definitely not as fast. This section isn't so bad. On the 450, the triple in is easy, and then to step onto that corner table is pretty easy. We were tripling even if I was missing it because it was easier to hop onto it and then hop off. Very, very difficult, especially if you had a bunch of AI around you that was pushing you off the track. It just made it super impossible. This section wasn't so bad, and this section coming up was very fun too. It was just really, really hard. You had to go way, way high in that berm and carry insane speed to barely triple. You could do it. I did it. Not in the video, but I did do it. It was just really, really tough. We actually get third. I thought we got fourth, but we get third. Not bad. The AI actually had faster lap times than we did. The AI is tough, man. We made that video. The AI has been really, really tough aside from Salt Lake City. The AI has been crazy good, so we'll see. They performed better, and they didn't seem to have the problem of resetting like they did at Atlanta. Definitely pretty polished here. Just the track was really tough. But let me know in the comments what you guys think about the game. I've been reading comments. I know we want ruts. I just don't feel like they're going to be able to implement that before the game releases. I know we want freer physics, less stiffness to the bike and rider. Maybe they can adjust on that a tiny bit, but I just don't see it being implemented yet. I mean, they're going to have very small changes from year to year. It's just the way it is with a yearly release. So let me know your feedback. Hopefully we can get some stuff adjusted in the game before it comes out. But you guys and girls are absolutely amazing. Thank you so much for the support on the channel lately. It really does mean a lot. And until the next video, take it easy.